Hi children, welcome to online classes. Today mathematics class is matrices and determinants. So first video will give the complete synopsis and the second video will solve the problems. So let us start the basics of matrices and determinants and what are the important points we'll discuss now. So now what is the definition of matrix? An arrangement of numbers, real or complex, in the form of rows and columns within the bracket is called a matrix. Let us take consider an example. I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here I arrange the numbers in a such order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. This you call as a row. So call as row 1. This is row 2. Same thing, column 1, column 2, column 3. So if you write the arrangement of matrix, you want to define order of a matrix. The order of matrix start with rows. How many rows? 2 rows. And into can write into call as a by. 2 by 3 columns, 2 by 3 matrix. That means the order of matrix is 2 by 3. Always at first rows, number of rows, and counted from top to bottom, and columns counted from left to right. The order of matrix can be written as 2 by 3 matrix. I hope clear now. So that is the matrix. I hope everyone knows matrix very well. Just I will go through the all definitions. Null matrix or zero matrix. A matrix in which each element is zero is called a null matrix or zero matrix and denoted by O. So every element of matrix is zero. The matrix you call as a null matrix and denoted by O. For example, I will take the matrix as element 0. This is how many rows? 2 rows and 2 columns. This is you can take 2 by 2 null matrix or you can write simply O2. So that is nothing but 2 by 2 null matrix you can call as. I hope clear. So that is next row matrix. A matrix having only one row is called a row matrix. A matrix having only one row. So that means, for example, I will take 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, how many rows? Only one row. And how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 columns. This is 1 by 4 row matrix. Now, same thing you can define column matrix. A matrix having only one column is called a column matrix. So, you can take an example, same like here, how many rows? 1, 2, 3. 3 rows and only one column. This is 3 by 4 column matrix. 3 by 1 column matrix. Next, rectangular matrix. A matrix in which the number of rows not equal to number of columns is called a rectangular matrix. A matrix in which the number of rows is not equal to the number of columns is called a rectangular matrix. I hope clear now. So look at both examples. Both are rectangular matrices. Here number of rows not equal to number of columns. Clear? The next, square matrix. A matrix in which the number of rows equal to number of columns is called a square matrix. So number of rows should be equal to number of columns. So look at here, how many rows? 3 rows and 3 columns. This is 3 by 3 square matrix. So like that you can define 2 by 2 also. You can define this is 2 by 2 square matrix. And here in a square matrix, the elements along the diagonal which runs from left top to right bottom are called diagonal elements. The elements along the diagonal which run from left top from here to the right bottom are called diagonal elements. So these are the diagonal elements. So in this matrix, the diagonal elements are 2, 1, 0. Here 2, 1, 0. This is called principal diagonal. We call as a principal diagonal. So I hope understand everyone. Next. What is diagonal matrix? What is a diagonal matrix? A square matrix in which all the elements except the diagonal elements are 0 is called a diagonal matrix. A square matrix in which all the elements except the diagonal element, that is called principal diagonal elements, are 0. That matrix you call as a diagonal matrix. This also can be written as DIAG of 3, 2, 4. So this is nothing but how many elements? These are the diagonal elements. There are 3 elements are there. That means this is 3 by 3 diagonal matrix. These are the elements of diagonal and other elements are 0. I hope clear now. If I take one more example, diagonal of 2 comma 5. Means this is 2 by 2 diagonal matrix. So you can write 2, 0, 0, 5. So that is to write the diagonal matrix. I hope clear now. That means what diagonal matrix? A square matrix in which all the elements except the diagonal elements are 0 is called a diagonal matrix. So next, scalar matrix. A diagonal matrix means there are diagonal elements, all the elements are 0. In which all the diagonal elements are equal is called a scalar matrix. If all the elements of principal diagonal are equal in a diagonal matrix, that matrix you call as a scalar matrix. Just observe, all are equal. The diagonal elements are equal, so that it is a scalar matrix. Next, unit matrix or identity matrix. A diagonal matrix in which each diagonal entry is unity. Unity means 1 is called a unit matrix or an identity matrix. So it is denoted by I. So it is denoted by I. So here I3 means I3 unit matrix of third order, means 3 rows and 3 columns. The diagonal elements are 1 and rest of the elements are 0. If you want to take I2, so that means 1 0 0 1. I hope clear this one. Next, equality of two matrices. Two matrices A and B are said to be equal if they are of same order and all the corresponding elements are equal. If two matrices are said to be equal, it can be rectangle, it can be square, if they are of same order and all the elements should be equal, corresponding elements should be equal. For example, I will take 1 2 3 4 equal to x y z t is given. So now if these two are equal means x equal 1, y equal to, z equal to 3 and t equal to 4. So that is the concept of equality of two matrices. Next, addition and subtraction of two matrices. If A and B are two matrices of same order, here condition is when you add two matrices they should be same type. Then A plus B or A minus B is defined to be a matrix. The resulting also matrix obtained by adding. So adding means addition means adding. Subtraction means you can subtract the corresponding elements of A and B. Addition means corresponding elements added. Subtraction means corresponding elements subtract. So the resulting matrix is nothing but addition or subtraction of two matrices. Clear? Next comes under multiplication. Two matrices A and B can be multiplied only if the number of columns in A as same as the number of rows in second matrix. So here condition is most important. When you take multiplication of two matrices, the condition is number of columns in first matrix should be coincide with number of rows in the second matrix. The resulting matrix will be M by P. So that means the resulting matrix is C, that is AB. Sorry, here they are given N. Please correct it. This is M by P matrix only. So now here number of columns should be equal to number of rows in B. Therefore, it is conformable for multiplication. The resulting matrix of the type M by P. If it is square matrix, the same order will come here. I hope clear this one. So that is now we will discuss the some points which are related to properties of this one. Now I will discuss some points which are useful for solving problems. So properties on addition and multiplication. Properties on addition and multiplication. The first one, A plus B should be equal to B plus A. So second one, AB not equal to BA. That means so the matrix addition is commutative, but multiplication is not a commutative. So only certain case it will be commutative. So that I will explain that one. And associative AB into C equal to A into BC. Here A is M by N, B is N by P, and C is P by Q matrix. That means if you want to find AB, so number of columns in first matrix same as number of rows in second matrix. So if you want to multiply B and C, so this must be coincide. So therefore this condition is valid, then only it is possible for multiplication. If the square matrix of same type, you can obviously you can multiply directly, but the different order type matrices you must check the condition. So now that is one. Next, matrix multiplication with respect to addition. This is called distributive law. AB plus AC. So here A is what type? M by N, for example. B is what type? You can take some N by Q. C also you must take N by Q. Y means we are adding B and C. B and C should be same type matrices. So but M multiply with B plus C. That's why the number of columns in A must be equal to number of rows in B and C. That's the condition here. So next case, AI equal to IA equal to A. In this case, AI equal to IA equal to what? A. But here it is a commutative property. But in this case, it's not a commutative. This case, it's a commutative property. So these properties you have to remember with respect to addition and multiplication. I hope clear. So these are extra points which are helpful for solving problems. So next, transpose of a matrix. Let A be a matrix of order m by n. Then the matrix obtained by interchanging the rows and columns of A is called transpose of A and denoted by A dash or AT. AT means A transpose. So by changing rows into columns, the resulting matrix we call as a transpose of matrix. Here A transpose, change row to column. First row is 1 comma 2, it is changed to column, and second row as column. So now A transpose is 1, 2, 3, 4. By interchanging the rows in column, the resulting matrix is called as a transpose of a given matrix. Now there are some properties on transpose. A transpose whole transpose equal to A. Again take transpose of A to get the original matrix. Now AB whole transpose is B transpose into A transpose. This is called as reversal law. Reversal law. So you can extend this property for product of three matrices also. ABC whole transpose is C transpose, B transpose, and A transpose. You can write the reverse of the elements. Next, A plus B whole transpose as A transpose plus B transpose. Even minus also A transpose minus B transpose. So Ka whole transpose is K into A transpose. These points you can remember. So clear now? Next, symmetric and skew symmetric matrix. A square matrix will be symmetric matrix if Aij equal to Aji or A transpose equal to A. If you take transpose of matrix, the resulting matrix also equal to the original matrix. Such matrix you call as a symmetric matrix. I will take one example. 1, 2, 2, 3. I will take transpose of this one. What will happen? 1, 2, 2, 3. It remains same. So then you call as symmetric matrix. So observe here Aij equal to Aj. This position is A11. This is A12, A21, A22. That means A12 should be equal to A21. These two are equal. Then obviously a symmetric matrix of second order. So same way you can define for third order also. Next, skew symmetric matrix. A square matrix is called skew symmetric matrix if Aij equal to minus Ji. Here what? 2, 2. Here 2 minus 2 is there. That case it become a skew symmetric matrix. Aij equal to minus Aj for all the values of I and j. Then you call a skew symmetric matrix. Or you can call as A transpose equal to minus A. That is called a skew symmetric matrix. For example, I will take 0, 2, minus 2, 0 is there. If you take A transpose, 0, 2, minus 2, 0. But it's not equal to A. But A is what? 0 plus 2. Here minus 2 got it. Here minus common, 0 plus 2 minus 2, 0 comes here. So that means this is equal to minus A. A transpose equal to minus A. Then what you call here? It is skew symmetric matrix. I hope clear this one. So if A transpose equal to A, it is symmetric. A transpose equal to minus A, it is skew symmetric matrix. So clear this one. Next. So definition of determinants. The science of the system for expansion of determinant science system of order 2, order 3, order 4. Order 4 not required. So you want to know order 2. So the science means you can get the cofactors. Elements of science of the cofactors of elements. If you expand determinant to get the value of the determinant. So if I take 2 by 2 matrix, this matrix A, that A you can write as between the two bars A, B, C, D. The value of 2 by 2 determinant is AD minus BC. That is the 2 by 2 matrix determinant. So now how to find the 3 by 3 matrix determinant? Suppose A is A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3 is there. Then delta A equal to, so now you can find the value of determinant. You can keep plus here, minus here, plus here. So everyone know this one. Just I will recap this one. A1 into P2 C3 minus B3 C2. For middle one, always keep minus B1 into A2 C3 minus A3 C2 plus loss C1 into A2 B3 minus A3 B2. That is a way to find the determinant of matrix. Here one thing is there, you can expand along first row or second row, third row, will get the same answer. If you expand along first column also, we'll get the same answer. So expand along the first row, you can follow this rule. Second row, minus plus minus. Third row, plus minus plus. So that order you can follow. You can take the better to take always first row elements only. It is convenient for everyone. So next, properties of determinants. This is most important for us. The value of determinants remains unaltered if the rows and columns are interchanged. That means rows and columns interchange means transpose. So determinant of a matrix equal to determinant of transpose of a matrix. So that means the values will be remains equal. Next, if any two rows or columns of a determinants are interchanged, if interchange two rows or two columns, the sign of determinant will change. That's the concept. For example, let A equal to 5. I interchange the rows, two rows. Then I find the value of the determinants. So we'll get minus 5. That means if you interchange the two rows or two columns, the sign of the determinant will change to opposite sign. So clear that one. So if two rows of a determinants are identical, equal, then the value of determinant should be 0. Without expanding, after looking the determinants, if there are two columns or two rows are identical, the value of determinant is 0. Directly you can write without solving. For example, I will give 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1. So that means this equal 0 because since C1 equal, sorry, R1 equal to R3. So third row and first row are equal. The value of determinant is 0. Without solving, you can get it. If you want to solve, you can solve it. You get final answer is 0. Next, if all the elements of row or a column is multiplied by non-zero number, if multiplied any one row or any one column by fixed number, the value of the new determinant is k times the value of the original determinant. If find the value of determinant, you will get something. If I multiply any row and expand the determinant, the answer will come by k times the original value of determinant. That is one property. Next, if each element of a row or column consists of two terms, then the determinants can be expressed as sum of the other two determinants. For example, I will take x plus y, x plus z, x plus k is there. That is first row. Next 1, 2, 3 is there. 5, 6, 7 is there. This you can write as sum of two determinants. In the two determinants, second row remains same, third row remains same in both the matrices. The only first row we can split as the first positions comes under first determinant, second positions comes as a first row of the second determinant. That way to split it. So sometimes when solving problems, this is required. So there you can apply these properties. So clear that one. Next, if all the elements below leading diagonal or above leading diagonal are except leading diagonal elements are 0, then the value of determinant equal to multiple of the leading diagonal element. That means product of the leading diagonal element. That means the triangle is upper triangular or lower triangular matrix. The value of determinant of the upper or lower triangular matrix is equal to product of the diagonal elements. So I will give 0, sorry. Now both the cases, what here, it is called lower triangular matrix, this is called upper triangular matrix. The value of determinant is ABC. What are the elements are there? The value of determinant is ABC. You can take it. That means here this product is nothing but the value of determinant only. So irrespective of other elements. Next, the determinant D becomes 0 on putting x equal to alpha, then we say that x minus a is a factor of D. So that means the determinant D becomes 0 on putting x equal something. If there is a variable present in the determinants, if you put x equal to alpha in that one, if the value of determinant is 0, then x minus alpha is a factor of the given determinant. I hope clear this one. Next, the value of determinant is unaltered when any row is multiplied by a number or any expression and then add or subtract from any other row. So the value of determinant is not changed. The value of determinant is unaltered when any row is multiplied by a number or any expression and then added or subtracted by any other row or column. The value of determinant is not changed. That means you have to apply row operation. R1 as R1 plus 2R2. So R2 as R2 minus 3R3. So you can apply row operations or column operations. The value of determinant will not change. That's a condition. This all you know from the solving so many problems you are solving in the PU level. So now we can easily solve these questions. Next, what is called adjoint of matrix? Let A equal to Aij be a square matrix of order n. Then the adjoint of matrix A is transpose of the cofactor matrix of A and denoted by adjoint A. Okay, the adjoint of matrix is transpose of cofactor matrix. The cofactor matrix means for each element there is a cofactor, you know. Find the cofactor of each element and find a cofactor matrix, apply transpose to get the adjoint A. So if it is 2 by 2 matrix, how to find adjoint directly? A, B, C, D. So you just remember formula. We are solving object to now. You can remember as this one. So this one, what you can do means D, A minus B minus C. If 2 by 2 matrix, to get adjoint by interchanging the principal elements and other elements change the signs to get the adjoint of the given matrix. For example, A equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is adjoint A? Adjoint A is will be 4 minus 2 minus 3, 1. That is the adjoint of matrix. I hope clear now? If it is 3 by 3 matrix, find each element cofactor and take the transpose of a matrix, will get the adjoint of a matrix. And there is a property A into adjoint A equal to adjoint A into A equal to det A into I. This is a general standard property. A into adjoint A equal to adjoint A into A equal to det A into A. Sometimes in the exam, so they give matrix A, what the value of A into adjoint A? They give options as given 2i, 3i, 4i, 5. Just is nothing but det A into I. Find the determinant into I to get the answer directly without finding adjoint. I hope clear this one. To find the adjoint of matrix, there are some properties I will explain. All the properties with adjoint. Sorry. So inverse of a matrix. If A is a non-singular matrix of order n, so non-singular means det A not equal to 0. Det A not equal to 0. That's called non-singular matrix. And a matrix B of same type means order of B and order of A should be same. So that means both are square matrices of same order. And AB equal to BA equal to I. Then B is called inverse of A and denoted by A inverse. That means here B equal to A inverse. So now AB equal to BA equal to I. Then B is called inverse of A. That means A into A inverse equal to A inverse into A equal to I. So this is a standard property. And also sometimes using this one as a property. Just keep in mind. Now how to find A inverse? A inverse can be find as using adjoint A by det A. So that means if det A not equal to 0, inverse is exist. The inverse of matrix is defined as 1 by det A into adjoint A. If suppose det A is 0, then A inverse does not exist. So that means det A equal to 0 means we call as if det A equal to 0, so A is singular matrix. A is singular matrix. So that means just remember this one formula. Sometimes they give matrix is singular, find the value of unknown, they will ask. Take det A equal to 0. If non-singular matrix, inverse exists. For singular matrix, inverse does not exist only. I hope clear this one. Next, some properties you have to memorize for inverse of a matrix. That means A inverse whole inverse equal to A. Like A transpose whole transpose equal to A. Like A inverse whole inverse equal to A. Next, AB whole inverse equal to B inverse A inverse. So you can extend this property ABC whole inverse is C inverse into B inverse minus A inverse. So this is all reversal law. This is called reversal law. AB whole inverse is B inverse into A inverse. I hope clear this one. So these are generally we are using the properties. So clear? Next. So somewhat time saving results. If A is a square matrix, then adjoint of adjoint A is det A whole power n minus 2 into A. Adjoint of AB is adjoint B into adjoint A. So adjoint of A transpose equal to adjoint A whole transpose. And det of A inverse is 1 by det A. So I will give 2-3 formulas extra. This one. A is square matrix of order n, you can take it. A is n by n matrix. And can add some more points. It is useful for us. Det of Ka is k power n into det A. That is one. Next, fifth property, det of adjoint A equal to det A whole power n minus 1. Det of adjoint A equal to det A whole power n minus 1. Next, sixth property, det of adjoint A equal to det A whole power n minus 1 whole square. So there is only one adjoint A, det A whole power n minus 1. Adjoint of adjoint A, det A whole power n minus 2 whole square. Next, suppose one more adjoint of adjoint, that is det A whole power n minus 1 whole cube. So keep on increase that one. So I hope you know. And one more property. So that is adjoint of Ka is k power n minus 1 into adjoint A. And det of A inverse is 1 by this also another standard property. I hope understand these properties you can memorize, and extra properties already given here. Det of K is k power n det A. Det of adjoint A, det A whole power n minus 1. So det of adjoint A is det A whole power n minus 1 whole square. Adjoint of Ka is k power n minus 1 into adjoint of A. These extra properties you can note down. I hope clear this one. Next, so determinant of a skew symmetric matrix of order 3 is 0. This is one standard property. If there is a skew symmetric matrix of odd order, so odd means if it is third order or fifth order, but we have only third order. I'll take one example. Third order skew symmetric matrix. All the principal elements should be 0. This is A, B, C. This minus A, minus B, minus C. In this case, obviously, these are opposite signs. These two are opposite signs. These two are opposite signs. Then if it go for det A equal to 0. It is clearly 3 by 3 skew symmetric matrix of odd order. If you want to find determinants, you will get the answer 0 only. So that is a property, one property. 3 by 3 skew symmetric odd order determinant always 0 only. Sometimes it's very helpful on solving problems in objective questions. If A equal to ABCD, then this one sometimes they ask to prove that in quadratic expression A square minus A plus D into A plus AD minus BC into I equal to 0. So they'll give some unknowns. They give matrix are given A square minus Ka plus some L lambda equal to 0. How to find the values here? So you can use this property. A plus D is the multiple of A. Multiple of I is AD minus BC. How they'll ask question means, for example, the question is given 1, 2, 3, 4 is given. And A square minus Ka plus lambda I equal to 0. What is the value of K and lambda? So K is A plus D. K is A plus, this is A, B, C, D. What A plus D? 5 over. Got the K value. And lambda value is AD minus BC. That is nothing but determinant. So 4 minus 6, what gives minus 2? It's a lambda value. So generally, how to solve generally this question? We can solve by finding a square and multiply with a and multiply with I with lambda and grouping all the terms and solving and equate to 0. Then we'll get the values of k and l. That is a long process. This is one shortcut formula. Just remember this one. I hope clear. So this how to get this one I will explain. Suppose a is what? A B C D. So here lambda is root of delta of a minus lambda I equation. That means if you solve the what a minus lambda I determinant equal to 0, we'll get the value of lambda. Lambda is root means lambda is one of the value of a. So now I will take delta of a minus lambda I. So what is lambda I? Lambda I means lambda 0 0 lambda. If you subtract both a minus lambda, b minus 0 b, c minus 0 c, c minus lambda equal to 0. So now cross multiply, just find the determinant a minus delta, c minus delta minus bc equal to 0. So ac minus a lambda, so this is d, sorry. So minus a lambda minus d lambda plus lambda square minus bc equal to 0. So first write lambda square minus lambda common a plus d plus this is ad, sorry, ad minus bc equal to 0. So this is lambda is the root of the trick, means lambda is one of the value of a. That means you can write a square. So a into a plus d. So when you write matrix equation, the constant term multiplied by I equal to O. So this is originally 0. This is nothing but null matrix. If you write the matrices, each term should have matrix. But lambda is what here? A. Because lambda is the root of equation. So now a square minus a into a plus d plus ad minus bc into I. Ad minus b is nothing but det a. So a plus d means sum of the diagonal elements. That means a coefficient is minus of sum of the diagonal elements. I coefficient is that of a given matrix. I hope clear this one. So it's very useful on solving objective questions, time saving result also. So next, A is skew-symmetric matrix. Then A plus A transpose is symmetric matrix. A minus A transpose is skew-symmetric matrix. How can you check the symmetric matrix of any which is given? So just apply transpose for the given matrix. That give the answer is same matrix. Then we call as symmetric matrix. So A transpose whole transpose same. That means this value same. So we call that A plus A transpose is symmetric matrix. So now skew symmetric means apply transpose. If you want to find symmetric and skew symmetric, always apply transpose. Nothing but A transpose minus A. So both are different. So now make it same, A minus A common. So that means minus of A minus A transpose. So that means A minus A transpose whole transpose equal minus of same thing. Then we call it a skew symmetric matrix. This is skew symmetric matrix. Understand here? A plus A transpose always symmetric. A minus A transpose always skew symmetric. Then every square matrix can be expressed as sum of symmetric and skew symmetric. A square matrix can be expressed as sum of symmetric and skew symmetric matrix. It's already property in the PU level. So I hope clear this concept. So with the help of this concept, we can solve the questions. Okay. So that's all the synopsis. So we will solve the problems in the another video. So